Alright, hello everyone, welcome to this new video. Today we're going to look into the sequencer and the Waveform Engine. I prepared an init patch here, and let's start with the sequencer first. So there's that's the default sound. The reverb comes from Ableton for purely entertainment purposes. So now let's go into the sequencer. This is the screen that you get greeted with when you start it, and it's not running by default. You have to enable it, so this button is lit up green, and then you need to start the sequencer so it says running in the screen. And then it will run and always start at the first step and run for as long as you hold down the key. Thankfully there's a latch mode here, so we can just have it run indefinitely and start working on it. The way it works is, do you see the highlighted first step here in red? And that is basically your cursor, which step you're currently editing. And you got the main parameter here at the top, which is at the moment pitch. And then you can also change the sequence lengths. You can have up to 32 steps, and you can see all steps by going up here and set it to 1 to 32, and then you can see the entire length, or you can go to 17 to 32 to see the end of the sequence, or standard, the beginning of the sequence, 16 steps each. You can also disable steps by tapping on them. And if you tap on them once again, you will get a little arrow. That means it is now a tie. And if you tap it once more, it will return to the default state, which is just a note step. Okay, so let's go to the first step here and change the pitch. Maybe here the third and this one, so on. Change the sequencer length and hold down a note. And that's one way to go about it. Now you can also use a step record mode. When you press record here at the top, it will say stop record. The sequencer is no longer running, and now it will record the notes that you press or enter with your connected keyboard. Kind of like that. And you see it extended the sequence, which was shorter before the recording, which means you can just keep on going until you filled up the 32 steps. And then you just say stop record and play it back. So this is the chromatic mode, but of course you can change the scale to something else. You can change the root note while it is running. So let me add a tie here. Maybe take out this note and that one. And then you also have your usual gate parameter that you might know from arpeggios. And you have swing. In both direction. And then you can set the step length, which basically is a beat division. But yeah, 16 notes is the default. Then you got different play modes. Let me re-enable these steps and shorten the length. Get the playback direction, forward, backward, ping pong, forward and back. Forward and back, the difference between ping pong and forward and back is that when forward and back hits the end, it will trigger the note twice before it starts going into the opposite direction again, and then does the same at the end. It's not as obvious right now because I have these ties inside there. Okay, that's forward and back, and then we got one shot, which is also pretty interesting, but as I think it's more for a special use case. As the name suggests, it will not repeat itself once it played through the entirety of the sequence. And that is interesting if you use it as for modulation of parameters, for example. You could set up lots of mutes and then at the end, for example, enable a couple of steps and have that then affect the cutoff frequency of the filter or something, or trigger something else, or raise the volume, add some noise, some rhythmic effects. And you also have different modes that it's like free running and always keeps going, and then you can make really complex moving motifs with that alone. And for example, when you go here to reset to no reset, it will just keep on going and remember the last position where you were at. So the current location remains intact no matter what you press or if you change something from the outside. It will just keep on going, and then when you use it as a modulation source, it will not always occur at the same exact position, but somewhere in between, and there's also random mode. Now, I said we got scales. Let's go through them. You can hear as it affects the currently the notes in real time. So you can experiment with that if you like. Change the root note. And that's the note sequencer in a nutshell. So let's check out the other interesting parts here, and that is you can have different velocities per sequence step. Not that it does something at the moment because it's not reacting to velocity, but just imagine it would. Then you can set gate length. And get it more rhythmic, and then you add some swing maybe. Kind of like that. And I said you can also use it to modulate parameters. So let's check that out. We go from gate into Param 1. You can have Param 1 to 8. So I think you have 8 modulation lanes that can have multiple targets each. And you can all configure them individually in terms of amount and duration. So let's just pick a target here, for example, the panning, or no, let's go with the wavetable position. Increase the amount to the maximum, and then press more targets again to close this menu. Now I can go into the positive and negative on the currently highlighted step. Add some release. I like this. So let's stop the sequence here. So that is basically the sequencer. I think there's a lot more you can do with it. I only scratched the surface right now, but as you just saw, it really is super powerful. I wonder if you can have different polyrhythms or something going on. Let's see. Let's modulate a different parameter on different track, I mean. And I want this sequence now to be 10. No. Okay, that's unfortunate. The sequence length is then, it's a global setting for all sequences. I like that one. I'm gonna keep it. So, we were at Param 2, mod targets, add the destination, I don't know, wavetable noise maybe. I'm so used to pushing down to confirm, but you don't have to. Add an amount. Okay, I'm getting carried away, but it was fun. So yeah, that was the sequencer, I would say. Let's go and check out the waveform. So here we have it. It's has all the usual suspects. It's virtual analog. So you got a sine, sawtooth, triangle, square, a pink noise, and a white noise. And yeah. The most interesting part, in my opinion, is the unison. Then that you can change the semitone of each copy in the unison or of those kernels. So I can increase the number of kernels. 2. Let's keep it at 2. Disable the detune. And make it a bit quiet. Okay, so and now I can set the stereo width to full split. So I should have one left, one right of these two. And now I'm gonna change the pitch of the second one to a +5. And maybe, as you can hear, it's only affecting one side. That should help understanding how this works. Now let's bring them back together in the center. Add some more. Okay, that was a bit extreme for first example. Let me go to the sequencer and let's start that one again. Okay, so each shape can have a different, or it warps differently. You can, on a sawtooth, you can warp between a square and a double saw. And on a sine, you get a slightly rounded off saw in either direction. On a triangle, it's like a slope, or saw down and saw ramp up. And on a square, it's basically just pulse width. Oh yeah, and of course, as you just noticed, when we only have one kernel, stuff like detune and stereo doesn't do anything. And that's the waveform. We can add more waveforms now, since we're now learned how it works. We can add 3 at once if we want. We can crank them all up to 8 kernels, maybe some stereo, crazy detuning here, number 2. Same, maybe 4.5, and we're going to use sine waves or /saw, and detune that as well. Maybe put that more in the center. Bring down the semitones as well by 1 octave, and let's see how it sounds like. Okay, yeah, it's fun. So yeah, that's. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here, and would like to say thanks for all the nice comments, and I would say we're gonna look into particle and or resonator next. Maybe resonator first because I'm intrigued. I'm checked out particle already, and I think I'm gonna go for something that I don't know, or like the kernel. It's like when you press both, then you get into this kernel thing. I have no idea what it is. So yeah, that's probably up next. Yeah, if you have any more suggestions or ideas what you want to see, then yeah, please leave a comment. Thanks for watching. Leave a like if you liked it. See you on the next one. Bye.